respond to this process and this work and these notions of different vantage points. That also everyone is bringing something of value to our time together in our space because they have their individual perspectives and experiences. I really find that particularly fascinating because I don't have an architecture background, but someone who does may see structure of the voice in space, for example, or like they may be able to visualize the voice in a different way than I would, or you would.
Yes.
This is one example of this cross-disciplinary, interdisciplinary, interconnected collective research, really.
And this is, I think, what we're mostly excited about, which is why we're working together, and I hope to continue to be working together, of this notion that we can all research this, and it's serious research, and it is an art practice. It's not a healing practice. It could be a healing practice. It could be a self-betterment practice, but it is interrogating artistic practice and what could it mean to create performance from that place with the collective.
Yeah, and it's exciting, sort of in this phase of the pandemic, personally, going from the development of classes online and noticing, of course, that on Zoom or Skype or these different platforms, you don't have the capability of singing together in a group. You have the delay, so you can't hear each other at the same time quite exactly. There's still a lot of possibility, and that's incredible, but nothing to replace an in-person experience. So, just have a big gratitude that we get to have this opportunity, and noticing how it feels like it's bringing something back to life in a sense, quite literally. To be able to breathe, even share sort of breathing practice all together in one space feels there's a profoundness to that I'm aware of in a different way than I might have been before.
Tunes us into ourselves and to each other.
Yeah.
In a way that is physical. As you were saying, that sound, it's physical. It's not ethereal. We don't see it, but it actually physically vibrates your body, and that's why you sense it. It's a physical shaking.
Right.
So in that way, it's way more powerful than visually seeing somebody. It's physically being touched.
It can be more impactful.
Sound is touching you physically.
It is, yeah.
In the context of my knowledge of the contemporary performing art scene here in Bulgaria and in Sofia, I know of very few people who mix singing specifically with movement. And I'm talking about not in a theatrical way, but more in a dance, in an abstract, in a truly devised contemporary performance way. One person comes to mind, which everybody knows in Bulgaria, which is Ivo Dimchev, who is attempting to do that in various degrees. But in general, I don't see trained dancers who are comfortable with using their voice at all. And if they're asked to use their voice, it's unbelievable. How do I say it? It feels put on, or trying to sound like somebody else, or almost like a puppeteering of a character. And for what I am and what I care about in the world, which is this notion of truthfulness and taking out, like showing vulnerability and being together with the audience and having a sense of connection on stage. That specific way of using the voice is triggering in a really bad way. So I do not like that. And not that there shouldn't be a choice and you could choose to use that way of voice, but I feel like most people haven't gotten to the place where they can choose because they don't have the tools to use their voice in different ways. Song seems to always be put on in the last moment. It's just like, oh, we're gonna do a musical. Like it's like in that kind of form. It exists in that kind of form, which is amazing.
Let's have some singing.
Let's have some singing because like we want a joyous movement. It's not something that is primal. And I think I'm looking for something that is primal. And in that context, I think it's really, really new and really unusual to have this workshop approaching the voice in this way here in Bulgaria. And I do hope, because the program is 6 weeks, and every week there's a different teacher that is offering different techniques of using the body through voice, through story, through its presence, through its movement, improvisationally, compositionally. So I'm hoping that by the end of these 6 weeks, there's 24 people that will be coming at different times, that these 24 people, including me, would just find pockets, excitements, groups that they would continue to work with, and hopefully pieces, art, experiences, performances will come out of that.
Yeah, and the kind of unusual possibility of the cross-cultural dialogue.
Yes. So there's somebody from Ukraine as well coming. There's somebody from Turkey coming a little bit later. Somebody from Belgium is also coming a little bit later. So a bunch of different people from different places.
Yeah, well, and just to say, as a US-based artist, and I know there's one other that's planning to come, but that it's always such a wonderful opportunity to share one's work, with different people. It informs your own research, your own observation in a different way. And one of the things I love about this particular practice is that it can be experienced by most anyone. Mm-hmm. And to have also this kind of age range, it's not all like young and super energetic dancers, for example, or seasoned actors who already have sort of feel like they perfected a craft and there's not much more that they need to learn about or they don't want to learn about or whatever. Somewhat something that could feel like a limitation. This feels like a real space of possibility. And there's a kind of feedback loop, so it's not just like, I'm coming with what I feel like I know and I'm going to profess to you and like teach you this information. It's just sharing in a very authentic way. And then, it's sort of like, okay, here's this idea, someone tries it out, or, these 15, 16 people, and it feeds your own kind of body of knowledge. And just builds on itself, which is really a beautiful thing.
In a way, it's teaching and offering a collaborative process and how we can access that and continue to collaborate in different ways